people that don't ride cycles probably will never experience. And
Yeah.
there's a few special things about cycling that people don't really understand until they get out and do the miles.
Yeah, it's definitely, once you see those horses run along the fence line with you, it's something special.
Here's a couple kids.
This is actually one of the other earlier races, and these guys have been dropped from their group, and they're just trying to get to the finish line. And here's the gravel. This is the second time through the dirt section. This dirt's about a mile and a half long, and it requires a lot of power to get through it because it's pretty loose in spots.
Why would you put this in a course?
This is just another element that will definitely separate the stronger from the weaker guys, and it takes a little bit of bike handling skill as well as a lot of power to get through that gravel.
So those guys got through that just fine, and now they're on the uphill.
Yep.
We're on the third loop.
This is the last loop, and they're just now going over the summit of the climb on the third lap. And so, as you can see from the shot they're showing what's behind them, they've got no worries about the group catching them. This is the feed zone here. This is where they're handing up water bottles to the riders. You got to remember that this race is about 3.5 hours long, and they can only carry 2 bottles on their bike. So the hydration part of it becomes a factor.
Do you have to kind of ration your what you take with you?
You definitely would if you didn't have someone taking care of you in the feed zone. So luckily they have some spectators out there helping them out.
So you ran a bunch of different races like 5 minutes after each other.
There were actually 6 different races going at one time out here today.
Who are these guys? What?
This is the Masters A group. So these guys are 35 years or more in age, but category 1, 2, and 3. And they're just now making their way towards the start of their third lap.
The reason you break that down is just to keep people competitive with people that are in their same age group or ability.
That's right, so that everybody has a fair chance to compete. Here's a good shot of the gravel and watching the category 4 or 5 men come through it. You can see that it's really hard to hold a straight line. And you got to hope that the guy in front of you doesn't fall down.
Further back, there was a single track. Here, you could see that the lines were all over the place, like people were trying to keep control.
Yeah, that was thick gravel right there at the end before they got back onto the pavement.
Are they just cursing you at this point?
They might be a little bit, but I think all of them actually enjoy it. These are the ladies coming through. This is the women's 1, 2, 3 field, and they've whittled it down now to looks like there's only like 6 riders left. And they're riding towards the finish line now.
Now, would you ever see a Kristen Armstrong?
Yeah, if she was in town, she definitely would come out and ride, any of the local events. She loves to race her bike.
How far away are these athletes from competing in that kind of arena?
It definitely is a distance between the two. I mean, our local riders are definitely talented, but when you get to that upper echelon, there's, even though it may only be 10 or 15%, it's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. And that sometimes comes down to the time that you have to train and where you're at in life, I guess, too.
Yep, exactly.
We've got more racing action